want to go pro, and for 5 years I've been analysing the top of competitive Fortnite, and in the last year I've helped thousands of people improve faster than they ever have before. But with this, I've noticed 6 lies that I think a lot of people believe, and it's completely stopping you from going pro. So if you understand and avoid all 6, then you'll be able to go pro. The first lie you're told is that you just need to keep on grinding and just grind more. But this couldn't be further from the truth for 99% of you, because just grinding the game more and more when you're not following these 3 fundamentals is completely pointless. And before I tell you what these fundamentals are, I'm going to give you the exact aim routine that's used by pros like Veno later in the video for completely free, so make sure you watch the whole thing so you don't miss out on that. But the first fundamental your routine has to follow is having a focus and make your time grinding the game quality over quantity. You want your routine and your time playing Fortnite to be focused on what you need to do to improve. And the way you do this is simple. It's just by focusing on your weaknesses and focusing on what you actually need to do to improve. So don't play 3 hours of 1v1s when you don't know how to play an end game and when you're already good at fighting. If this was the case, you're much better off playing 3 hours of scrims and just 1 hour of 1v1s. Before we get into the last and most important fundamental, let's quickly go over the second fundamental, which is consistency. Essentially, you need to play the game every single day and you need to stay consistent with it no matter what. But you also need to stay consistent with the fundamentals I've mentioned. And fundamental 3 is getting the best practice possible throughout your routine. The best way to do this is by simply going against good players, either players that are better than you or around your skill level. But also not 1v1ing the same person every day, even if they're on your skill level or even better than you. Because if you 1v1 the same person every single time, you'll know exactly how they move, when they shoot, and exactly how to counter their playstyle. But this is a bad thing because you'll slowly adapt to play to counter that person in all of your fights, which will 9 times out of 10 lead you to doing something dumb against a different person in a real game. So try to 1v1 different people who are actually good, so you can't get away with making any mistakes, because this means you won't make any dumb mistakes in real games either. Also, make sure to try and get in the best practice server for your region, which for EU would be Noble 24/7. And by practice server, I pretty much just mean scrim server, but you can also join improvement servers like my improvement server, the Pro Reality, which has already helped over 10,000 people improve, and it's completely free. But here's a quick word about LagoFast. I've recently been using LagoFast because my FPS kept on dropping in endgames, so I tested it for 7 days to see if it actually worked. And the main thing I noticed was that with LagoFast on, my FPS didn't drop as low, and that's because it has a smart game booster that uses multipath connections and real-time servers to keep your game stable. And the best thing about it for me was the FPS booster, which automatically enhances your PC's operating system with the goal of getting you the best FPS and best gaming experience possible. It optimizes your CPU, makes sure you're on the right graphics driver, and even overclocks your GPU if needed, so it performs to the best of its ability. All you have to do is click the link in the description, click download, install the software, go to the home tab, then click on Fortnite and click boost. And to get 30% off any plan, click the link in the description and use code Blexiti. Thank you LagoFast for sponsoring this video, but now let's get back to the video. You've probably been told that to get good at fighting, you should play lots of creative. In fact, I've even said this too, but I know for some people your ping in-game compared to in creative is quite different, and that some of you are better in creative than you are in tournaments. But a simple fix to this is to stop playing creative for 5 to 7 days, and this is going to rework your muscle memory you've built up from playing on your creative ping and build your mechanics muscle memory around your in-game ping, and this is most likely going to result in you being a lot more comfortable when taking fights in tournaments. So stop playing creative for 5 to 7 days and just play ranked. But something that will guarantee you win more fights is tracking, and doing it properly will also help you improve your tournaments because you'll never keep on repeating the same mistakes over and over again. And to do this, you want to follow 2 steps. First, watch back your games and write down the cause of how you got eliminated, preferably in your scrim or tournament games. However, if you're new to the game, you can also do this in ranked because most likely you'll need to fix a lot of your fighting mistakes before you can start placing in tournaments. Step 2 is actually tracking it, and this seems pretty straightforward. You just want to write down all your mistakes and track them, but a lot of players just don't want to take the time to do this, although if you want to go pro, then you need to have some discipline and actually do this, because VOD reviewing and working on your mistakes as well as tracking them is going to give you the best chances of going pro. And if you've watched other educational Fortnite content, you've probably seen at least one video from your favorite creator telling you that you need to track things like your weaknesses. Well, at least the ones that know what they're actually talking about. So it's not just me saying this, because the reality is that lots of people hit a skill cap once they reach a certain skill level and stay stuck at the same skill for ages. They try new routines, try new practice methods, but nothing works. That's because they hit a skill cap, and 90% of players won't get over a skill cap unless they make changes and work on what they actually need to work on. That's why I built this all-in-one bundle that will give you multiple trackers, checklists, and documents to figure out what you need to work on, track your weaknesses, and track your progress. We'll get back to the video in a second, but you'll also get a weaknesses tracker, tournament tracker, goals tracker, tournament journal, and I even recorded multiple videos going over how to find your weaknesses and create an improvement plan that's guaranteed to get you results. If you want to get this for yourself, then click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen. But a big misconception is that you should VOD review yourself, and although this is obviously true, there's one mistake and one big thing everyone forgets to do, which is to VOD review everyone. And what I mean by this is to VOD review both POVs, you and the enemy, because this way you'll see from their perspective what you did wrong and you'll see how they countered you, so you'll know what not to do next time, and so you'll know what keeps getting you eliminated. And you should also watch pros to see the decisions they make, and then you can implement that into your own games. Lots of people overcomplicate it, but if you just watch pros games every day for 30 to 60 minutes and copy the good decisions they make in your own games, your game sense will improve so much. Another huge misconception that I've seen spread in the Fortnite community is that you shouldn't train your aim. Some people have said that because pros don't train their aim, neither should you. But this couldn't be further from the truth, and it's completely stopping you from improving your fighting skill. Kovacs is the most beneficial practice you will get when first switching to keyboard and mouse, because it helps a ton with mouse control, which is the skill new keyboard and mouse players struggle with at first, and it's the thing that holds them back the most. Because if you have bad mouse control, you won't have good aim, and better mouse control will also improve your mechanics when first starting out. Although, as you get better and good at the game, it is more beneficial to train your aim inside of Fortnite and warm up using Kovacs and headshot box fights. And in terms of practicing your AR aim, it's definitely more beneficial doing this in-game compared to Kovacs, in my opinion, if you're more of an advanced competitive player. And then you should just warm up your aim in Kovacs, and training your shotgun aim in Kovacs and then headshot box fights is also one of the best warm-ups in my opinion, mainly because it's just a lot more realistic. Although whether you do Kovacs or in-game aim training, you need to start doing headshot box fights every day for just 10 to 20 minutes. It's one of the best ways to improve crosshair placement and shotgun aim. Also, the reason some pros don't aim train as much is because they've already been playing the game every single day for 10 plus hours a day for multiple years, so they don't need to aim train as much as you do. But don't get it twisted, they still used to aim train every single day, and they still do aim train. I promise you they all aim train. Even if they tell you they don't, I promise you they do. It might not be every day, it might just be around grand finals, but they still aim train. It's just that some pros don't aim train as much as they used to, do when first trying to compete. Like, Peterbot now only plays Kovacs around FNCS Grand Finals time, but he still grinded Kovacs when he was first trying to go pro, so you also need to aim train. Another mistake a lot of players make, especially newer competitive players, is being afraid of the zone, because pros are the complete opposite of this. They know that most of the time the storm can actually be used to get them stacked, get max mats, and then get into a good position, all for pretty much free. In fact, in a Grand's lobby, almost half of the teams play zone in FNCS Grand Final lobbies, so don't be afraid to sit in storm to get stacked, or to tank a bit of storm to get into a good position. Like, if you were to tank a few ticks of storm, but you went up and around to get a good uncontested layer, then it's probably worth it. So start using the storm to your advantage in real games. But if you want to learn how to improve so fast it feels like cheating, then click on this video here. But before you go, make sure to like and subscribe and use code Blexiti in the Fortnite item shop, and also check out the Fortnite progression tracker bundle by clicking the link in the description.